to Tartarus, or hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved, or until the day of judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood on the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample, or an example, if you will, to those that afterward should live ungodly. Again, the context of sexual immorality, even as Jude states, taking on foreign flesh. An important note here, the word Tartarus is the same place that the demigods in the Greek mythos were cast. The Greek mythos, oftentimes we assume mythos means light. No, it doesn't. Sometimes it is, but the word is simply a narrative or a story. Paul makes this interesting statement. For this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority on her head. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 10. For this reason, the woman ought to have a symbol of authority on her head because of the angels. Okay? Again, because of the angels. Why? Again, the angels committing transgression. The account after Messiah came is, albeit less, but we do have numerous accounts of messengers from above deceiving, and even, in fact, and extra biblical sources and accounts in many different cultures of the same thing continuing even after Messiah had come. So, let's look at this. The word Elohim also describes dead human beings. A lot of people out there don't like the use of the word God, which is an English word, and despite what many people who would be pagan police would have you believe, there is nothing wrong with the word God. It is a perfectly legitimate English description, and in fact, in many instances in the scriptures, is a better description for the more vague term Elohim, or better than the more vague term Elohim. Elohim is used to describe God, that is the supreme deity, Yahweh, other heavenly beings of a secondary nature, angels, and even dead people. It ultimately describes a plane of existence, the spirit realm of which Yahweh rules. In 1 Samuel chapter 28, verse 13, it says, And the king said to her, this was when the witch of Endor summoned Samuel, Do not be afraid. What did you see? And the woman said to Saul, I saw a spirit. Now you'd think the word would be ruach, but it's not. Ascending out of the earth. The word is number 430. It's Elohim, the Hebrew word Elohim, meaning divine one, God's strong magistrates or angels. Again, Samuel says, dude, man, I was sleeping. Chill out. Why'd you wake me up? Some random thoughts here in closing. Celsus, a man by the name of Celsus, and Julian the Apostate used the angel belief to attack the scriptures. In fact, they found it offensive to their worldview. Julius Africanus resorted to the Sethite interpretation as a more comfortable ground to appease the critics. Cyril of Alexandria also contradicted the orthodox historical scriptural angel or messenger from heaven position with the line of Seth error or deception. Augustine also embraced the Sethite theory and was responsible for it taking root, as well as many other errors being propagated throughout Christopaganism. It is still taught today among many churches and seminaries who find the literal historical meaning a bit disturbing. Think it not odd that numerous accusations of angel worship had already infiltrated pagan Christianity at the time. Being mindful that the works of wickedness are best performed under the cover of darkness or in hiding. The adversary keeps his own in darkness. Think it not odd that Ha-Satan, the father or progenitor of lies, has all the religions of the world in the dark concerning these matters, though extra-biblical, multicultural, and transcontinental accounts all agree. Clearly, beings from above of a higher power and a greater intellect have throughout the entirety of the human narrative mingled with human beings on earth in various ways. Now look at what Josephus says. Josephus in Antiquities of the Jews chimes in And he says, for the tradition is that these men did what resembled the acts of those men the Greeks or the Grecians call giants. He also goes on elsewhere to say that Noah opposed the offspring of the angels, and I believe it was regarding villainy, or for their villainy. Ancient pre-council sources understood this to be referring to fallen angels, procreating and producing weird hybrid offspring with human women known as Nephilim. Nephilim has its counterpart in Aramaic, which is Nephilah, which means giant or monster. Remember Messiah's encounter with the possessed man on the countryside? Remember? This again after the flood. And suddenly they cried out, saying, "What have we to do with you, Yeshua, the Son of God, or you Son of God? Have you come here to torment us?" That is, the beings that were possessing this man before the time. So notice in Matthew 8, verse 9, or I'm sorry, Matthew 8, verse 29, again, Matthew 8, verse 29, that they knew there was a time of their judgment, again, yet future from them and even future from us, whereby which they would be judged. Friends, we are going to be in the middle of an intergalactic war, whereby which heaven and what is beneath the earth are going to be cleansed and koshered and expunged and bound during the millennial reign of Messiah Yeshua. Notice they knew that there was a time. They even knew who the judge was. Basically, what we've learned here in closing is this. Here's the formula of what we've learned. Sinister heavenly beings plus desperate housewives without head coverings equals giants that eat people. So where do the demons that inhabit people come from? Again, in closing, when the giant, the offspring of the heavenly being, dies, its spirit, which is a demon or an evil spirit, because it is neither entirely heavenly or earthly, but is mixed seed in violation of afterlife kind, commanded in Genesis, is confined to the earth as a familiar spirit, also referred to as a strong man or demon. It is not the original entity that sinned with the women, rather it is the spirit of the byproduct. Friends, I hope this has been a good teaching for you, and again, look forward to talking about this more in depth. As always, shalom in your home, and we love you. We appreciate your prayers and support, and again, don't want to be a burden to anybody here. This will be available on the internet as well as DVD in the very near future. Again, it'll be entitled Sons of Seth or Sons of God, One is a Lie. So that will be the title of this teaching. So, shalom and bless you. And I hear Mario calling. Mario. Boom, 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 boom. Bum 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 bum. Wooka wooka wow wow. Bum 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 bum.